So we work them bottom up, and we're trying to build our way back out. So what we've been doing is digging down in right here and trying to figure out the processes that appear to be out of balance that would be leading to what you're experiencing. So that's all we've been talking about so far today.
Yeah.
So we're going to start down here and talk about food. We may have talked about that last time. We'll just go over some of the same things and review.
You warned us to
Yeah.
enjoy our last normal diet.
Well, I would say enjoy your last diet that only profits the industry and destroys us. Go back to, let's go back to normal.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it was being cynical.
So without, I don't really care about labels, and this is kind of a framework that we hang things on.
Right.
And so we start with a modification of paleo, and I will go ahead and say, as you look at things, anything that says paleo or Paleolithic and anything that says ketogenic is fine.
Okay.
Paleo is ketogenic compared to the standard American diet. And ketogenic just means I'm moving toward fat burning. But one of these things over here is something I'm going to pull it back out. Here we go. And we'll come back to that as we talk through here. So in general, I would say these things are food. Clean protein, because I want us to manage inflammation. So clean meaning, what did the animal eat? This needs to be grass-fed, ideally grass-fed organic, wild-caught fish, that sort of thing. Net nitrogen utilization, the efficiency with which humans process proteins from different sources. The highest efficiency is whole eggs. So the best quality whole eggs we can get. No limits whatsoever. There's no effect on cholesterol, and cholesterol has no effect on cardiovascular disease, so we don't have a problem there. Okay. 48% utilized. Meat and poultry and fish is about 38% utilized. If we do just the egg whites, it's 22% utilized, and protein powder is only about 17%. It's not that they're not useful; they're just not near as useful as real food.
Right.
Non-starchy vegetables are fine. You want the highest fiber, lowest glycemic, and so if you looking up things, look for tables about low net carbs. So net carbs means the total carbohydrate of a food minus the fiber.
So do they normally list net carbs
They
on
do.
labels?
Some do now
That's
list net
what it is,
carbs,
okay.
right? So if you had two foods that had 100 grams of carbohydrate, and this one had 90 grams of fiber, and this one had 40 grams of fiber, then you got a 10 net or you got a 60 net. And so
Okay.
you throw away the 60, you eat the 10. Right?
Right.
Okay. I'm not giving you arbitrary numbers, but you just you want the most fiber, the least effect on insulin. Fruits, I go several places with that, but same way. You want high fiber, high micronutrients, low sugar. So berries are your best choices overall. Now we can look at this several ways. Humans are designed for local, seasonal, but we've all moved around from where our genetic roots were. So more than likely, we're all from Northern European extraction, which would mean we're genetically adapted to things that grew in cold climates like berries and apples. But today we can have fruit around the world every day of the year if we choose. Doesn't mean that it's evil, but it may be more than we're tolerating. So juices are different than fruits. The sugar's been separated from the fiber, so we try not to do juices, that sort of thing. Nuts are great, and peanuts are not nuts, they're legumes. Fats and oils, no vegetable oils at all. They all increase inflammation. Polyunsaturated seed oils increase inflammation. These are neutral from an inflammatory standpoint, so olive oil is fine. Grass-fed or organic butter, coconut oil, MCT, are now called liquid coconut oil in the grocery stores. Are
You can
all
get
fine.
breastfed butter?
I'm sorry?
Did you say breastfed butter?
Grass-fed butter.
Oh, grass-fed. Like someone's making butter from their breast milk. Okay.
Oh my.
Okay.
It's made from the milk from the cow's breast.
That's true.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay.
It is.
Okay.
And so, we buy
You need
either,
sleep.
now this is not to say that's what you have to buy. We buy either Kerrygold or Publix organic, and we just buy the salted forms because with adrenal issues you need salt. So
Right.
we do that routinely. And I use lots and lots and lots and lots of butter, so they'll never restrict. I've seen probably a dozen different practitioners from different walks and different backgrounds who got in some way moved into this thing about looking at how we should be eating and all of them seem to be landing somewhere between 60 and 65% of our calories coming from fat as being the best form for optimal health. If we think about primitive cultures, if you kill something, you ate all the parts, you didn't just eat the muscle meat, throw the rest away. And that's what's been true even up until a couple of generations ago in our own culture. So that's where this thing about nourishing traditions is looking at not primitive cultures, but just what happened 2 or 3 generations ago, what were our cultures doing, how do we, what foods do we eat, and how do we prepare them, then before we started seeing all this rampant
But they
eating.
would have potatoes. Like my grandma would just have meat and potatoes. Can we have potatoes?
Well, it's not potatoes are evil, just have to recognize, as we'll talk about more when we get down here, that white potatoes raise blood sugar faster than eating sugar out of the bowl. And so if you're eating meat and potatoes and plowing with a mule all day, it's not such a big deal. But if you're driving a desk instead of driving a mule, it's a big deal.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Water.
Yes, water quality matters. Fluoride interferes with thyroid, and chlorine kills healthy bacteria, so we want to get those out. Should never have been putting industrial toxins in our water, which is what fluoride really is. Someone figured out a way to convince that there was value and they could get paid for their waste instead of having to pay to get rid of it. And so it is a neurological toxin. So we've gone to undersink reverse osmosis systems, whatever the easiest way. That I think is one of the cheapest long-term ways to do that. Bottle spring water if I'm out buying something. If I can find a spring one, I will. Some of the filtered waters are okay. Aquafina seems to be okay. Dasani is not. I think it's the quality of what they're filtering. There are no sweetened fluids. We're in the South, but there are no sweetened fluids, so unsweetened teas. Any kind of teas, black tea, green tea, white tea, herbal tea, doesn't matter. Coffee is one of the highest known antioxidants, but a heavily pesticide sprayed crop, and pesticide residues interfere with thyroid, so we need to be organic. Caffeine is not evil, but caffeine drives this reactive process. So we try to minimize caffeine. I would say a cup of black organic in the morning and black organic decaf after the first cup.
Okay.
And you might even benefit that cup by having some butter or coconut oil or both in it. So, okay.
Wow.
So,
Adding butter to coffee.
yeah.
Who would have thought?
So if you,
Homer Simpson.
so if you want to read about that, the guy that popularized it calls it bulletproof coffee. A guy named Dave Asprey.
Okay.
I use that myself when my wife's out of town or I have time crunch for prepping breakfast or whatever. And when I reached the point that I decided I was going to take an intentional control that I had let my weight get higher than it needed to be, I used that as a kickstart specifically when I was trying to lose weight. So if
Caffeine coffee?
Yeah.
But
so I would just, in fact, if my wife was out of town and I only had 5 minutes, I'd put half a stick of butter, stir it in a cup of coffee, and drink it and go. Because that gave me 400 calories of fat as fuel. It did not turn on insulin. My family history is diabetes. I don't want to turn that on. That would be enough to last me from 7:30 to 1:30. I chug right through, never feel it.
And does it taste gross?
Why would it taste gross?
Yeah.
It's just butter and coffee.
Butter.
just butter and coffee?
Well, butter is
I'll
like
have
cream, so cream and coffee is
It's,
fine.
all it is the fat that you would find in the cream, which is why you put cream in your coffee to have the butter part, the cream. So
Does it whiten it?
no, and unless you've got some kind of beater, it continues to separate. So you have to. I just stir it and drink it, stir it and drink it. It's gone in a couple of minutes anyway because I'm just drinking it and going. So and
Okay.
it cools the coffee quick. If you want your coffee hot, you'd have to melt it first. So.
I can't wait to try it.
Now, if I had, in that time frame, well, there was a couple of years my wife was out of town, at least 2 weeks out of every month with some family health issues. And so I got down to a 5-minute breakfast. That was my 5-minute breakfast. And I had a 10-minute breakfast. I would put 2 raw eggs in a magic bullet and melt about a third of a stick of butter, put it in there, and put my cup of coffee in there and zip that. So that way I had protein with it and brain food with it and egg yolks and emulsifier. So I had a smooth, creamy drink. I could take it in the truck with me.
I don't know about going to your bed and breakfast.
Now, when my wife got back in town, she didn't want to mess up her coffee, but one of those during that time frame, we were working in the yard one Saturday, and I got up and started fixing some mine. She said, "I don't want to mess up my coffee," so she put peanut butter on toast or something, and we went out and started working. About 10:30, she went in and got a snack, and about 12, she went in and got a snack. About 2, we finished, and I finally went in, started looking for something to eat. So the next weekend we did that. She said, "I want to try that, but I don't want to mess up my coffee." So for her, we would do the eggs and the butter and heat up some almond milk or coconut milk and put in there instead of the coffee. And if she wanted to dress it up, we'd put a half a banana, a little bit of vanilla or something in there. You know,
Kind of like a smoothie.
yeah, make more.
Well, and my mom used to make for me, and I've made for the kids just eggnog, I
vanilla,
call
vanilla
it.
milk,
Yeah, I just put eggs, vanilla, and almond milk, and some bananas.
Mhm. Yeah, so you know, it's just food. It's just
Quick
Yeah,
breakfast,
just a
and they
quick
love
way
it.
Yeah, they love it.
so. I mean,
But we
I'm
gotta
not
take the
afraid of
sugar
those
out,
things. Yeah, not afraid of those things, but yeah, we just try not to sweeten it. Now, if you had, we'll talk as we get down here, but salt that's not white is your friend. Salt everything till it tastes right. Adrenals require that.
Okay.
Unrefined. Oh, salt
So not
that's
white.
not white.
Not
So the
white.
gray